Draft season is very real right now. Everything is being blown out of proportion. Rumors are starting. Mock drafts are happening and stuff like that. And NFL.com actually dove through the Minnesota Vikings draft picks and basically predicted what they think the Vikings might do this draft. And it's actually pretty interesting. I like it. We're only going to dive through the first round because that's what everyone wants to know. What will the Vikings do in that first round? Are they going to bundle their picks? Well, NFL.com says otherwise. So let's dive right into it. Before we do, make sure to subscribe to the channel for endless amounts of Vikings content, news, updates. You get it. Make sure to subscribe. So, could the Vikings wait until the 23rd overall pick to address their quarterback vacancy? Well, that's what takes place in a recent 5-round mock draft from NFL.com's Chad Reuter. Let's check out his picks for the Vikings and give some thoughts. If you want to check out the rest of the list, like I said, we're only looking at the first round. He has basically rounds 1, 2, 4, and 5 posted for the Minnesota Vikings. You can go look at that at the Vikings website or NFL.com, obviously. But let's see what happens in round 1. Okay, the Vikings don't bundle their picks. No. They go for round 1, pick 11. They take Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy II. We talked about him a little bit earlier in this draft season, if you will, just a couple weeks ago. And I like this pick. I really do. I think our interior defensive front needs some help, and Byron Murphy can be that guy. Here was Reuter's explanation for having the Vikings taking him at 11. It says Minnesota goes for an impact defender with the first of their 2 first-round picks, choosing Murphy over Jared Verse. Murphy's a coveted player because he can attack quarterbacks from the interior and use his low center of gravity to hold firm at the line of scrimmage. So a really good run defensive or run. How do you want to say, a run stopper, if you will. He's very good in that aspect. He'll get pressure on the quarterback, maybe cause him to make some mistakes. Now, Will Regatz, who actually wrote this article, gave his take on this selection, and he basically said that if the Vikings aren't going to trade up for a quarterback or even take one at 11, Murphy is probably my favorite pick out of all the defensive players in this draft. Okay, he's a wrecking ball who had 5 sacks and 8.5 total tackles for loss last year, earning first-team All-Big 12 honors. Now, Murphy would be a perfect fit in the interior of Brian Flores' defense as a pressure creator who is enough of a run defender to play a major role right away. I'd also be on the board with Toledo cornerback Quinion Mitchell here at 11 as well. I would have to agree with that statement. I like the Byron Murphy selection, even though I think we're trying to figure out who might sit opposite of Jonathan Grenard, and I do think it's going to be Andrew Van Ginkel, but there's still that hole there at the other defensive end position. But again, we do need some interior defensive line help because we only really have Harrison Phillips. I mean, we have a couple others, but Harrison Phillips right now is listed as our starter. But if we want to go corner, Quinion Mitchell is definitely the guy to take a chance on. He's said to be the best corner in this year's draft. So, we haven't bundled. We have one more pick left in the first round. That is pick number 23, and Chad Reuter has the Minnesota Vikings at 23, taking Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. I know some of you guys probably not too pumped. Some of you guys are actually excited about this pick. I'm, how do I want to say, uneasy. I don't like it. I don't love it. I don't hate it by any means. But here's Reuter's explanation. History repeats itself with Minnesota matching its 2014 draft plan, taking its top player on the board early, which was linebacker Anthony Barr at number 9 overall, before snagging a quarterback later on in round 1, which was Teddy Bridgewater at 32. Okay, Baltimore did something similar in 2018 when taking tight end Hayden Hurst 25th overall before moving up for Lamar Jackson 7 picks later. Bo Nix may not carry an elite grade like the top 4 quarterbacks in this class, so Minnesota patiently follows its board instead of reaching, which honestly wouldn't be a bad idea. Instead, like if we're going to reach, I've seen a lot of things, a lot of scenarios where it seems as if to move up to in the top 5, the Vikings are going to have to get rid of their first 2-round picks or their 2 first-round picks this season, and they're going to have to give up their first-round pick next season, and that's a lot. That's almost too much. I would not do that by any means. If there's a way we can use just the first 2 round or just the 2 first round picks from this year to move up, then I'd be okay with it. But if we have to give 3 first-round picks, I'm out. Be patient, wait. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, they're going to fall. Who knows? Maybe J.J. McCarthy falls all the way to 11. I doubt that, just because of what I've been seeing lately about him. But again, we shouldn't have to reach with 3 first-round picks. I'd be okay with 2, with giving up 2 first-round picks to move up. But here's Will Regat's take on the Bo Nix selection at 23. He said, "I don't hate this outcome." That's what I said, basically. "But I'd rather have Michael Penix Jr. instead." Absolutely. I would much rather have Michael Penix, just because the arm talent has a higher season, and he gets to that, basically. But he said, for some context, okay, the big 4 quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this 5-round mock draft, okay, with the Broncos trading up from 12 to 4 to take J.J. McCarthy. At 23, both Nix and Penix, both of them, are still on the board. Penix eventually goes at 33 to Las Vegas Raiders, which I've seen him mock to quite a bit, which makes sense. Now, I think Bo Nix has a reasonable floor in the NFL due to his athleticism and experience, but I'd rather take a chance on the upside of Penix's left arm. Yes, the injury risk is higher, but so is the ceiling. And I absolutely agree with that statement 1,000%. I didn't get to watch too much of Bo Nix this season, but again, what I got to see out of Michael Penix, the arm strength, the athleticism, and stuff like that, the decision-making, that all kind of, it sounds awesome. And he had a really good pro day. Okay, I haven't heard much about Bo Nix's pro day and how well he performed and stuff like that. So he kind of seems like an outlier, a guy that should fall into the second round. He's probably going to get taken in the first, which is okay. But at this point, if both Penix and Bo Nix are on the board, what do you want? You have Justin Jefferson, you have Jordan Addison, you have TJ Hawkinson that are going to go deep, right? You want somebody that can throw the rock deep down the field. That's Penix. You can also want somebody that can roll outside the pocket and is comfortable, letting it loose with his feet. That's Michael Penix. Bo Nix, again, I'd have to look more into his film to see all that and how he would compare to Penix. But look, they're both the same age. I believe they're both like 24 or something like that. Penix is going to be 25 or whatever. They're both a little older for draftees, if you will. But that to me doesn't matter too much. They've played a lot of college ball at this point, which is even a bigger plus when you're entering the NFL, just because you have that experience under your belt. But again, I'd rather have Penix. But at this one, or in this mock draft by NFL.com, they have us taking Bo Nix at 23. How would you guys feel? Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about these first 2-round picks, or about these first 2 first-round picks of Byron Murphy II out of Texas at number 11, and then Bo Nix at 23. Let me know down below in that comment section. Also, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skol Vikes.